Hello, Elvis fans. Okay, shortly after we were told that Elvis had passed away, a singer emerged onto the scene that went by the name Orion. He was about the size of Elvis. He had the thick black hair like Elvis, and he sounded just like Elvis. And this singer became kind of a marketing nightmare for record companies because his voice was so similar to Elvis. So he was picked up by Sun Records, which was the record label where Elvis got his start. I think Orion ended up doing 11 albums during his career. He did some gospel, some rock and roll, some country. He always sounded like Elvis. So Orion would do live concerts, and several fans that went to his concerts said that Orion would be on stage singing. He would be sweating. He would have sweat in his armpits and on his back, on his face, and said that he would leave the stage for a moment and come right back out to do another song, and all of the sweat was gone, and that his costume would be slightly different in some way. There would be no sweat stains in his clothing, no sweat dripping down his forehead and his eyebrows. And then when he would leave stage again and come back, it would look like he was back in the costume that he was in before he left stage. So we don't know his identity for a long time, and we later find out that Orion was born Jimmy Bell, and he was put up for adoption when he was, and I want to say 2 years old. I could be wrong on that, and I need to look that up. But I believe it was 2 that he was adopted by the Ellis family, and now everyone knows that Orion was Jimmy Ellis. But for a long time, nobody knew who he was. But he did concerts sounding like Elvis. Now, throughout the 1980s, 1990s, of course, the Elvis is Alive world was growing very rapidly with Gail Burr Giorgio's books and everything that was going on. We had the TV specials with that Bill Bixby did in the 90s. There was a lot of things going on in the Elvis is Alive world, and Orion was a very gifted entertainer. He had the charisma, the stage presence, and from what I understand and have read, he was a little haunted by having Elvis's voice, because everyone wanted to associate him with Elvis when he just wanted to be an entertainer in his own right. He did a lot of songs that were not Elvis's songs, and I think one of them was entitled "I'm Not Trying to Be Like Elvis" or something like that. But in 1998, there were a lot of rumors flying in the Elvis is Alive world. Everybody thought Elvis was going to return soon, maybe in the year 2000, maybe in the year 2001. But in the late 90s, there were rumors flying all over the place about Elvis and the possibility that he was alive. And there were a lot of rumors that got started that were not true in this Elvis is alive world. I don't know what else to call it. But in 1998, one of the rumors that was going around was that Jimmy Ellis was going to come forward and tell about Elvis being alive, and say that he really was alive, and that they were trading places on stage to give Elvis the opportunity to perform again. And I believe that's all it was just a rumor that somebody started and it spread. But anyway, in 1998, down in Alabama, Jimmy owned a pawn shop, and he was brutally murdered in this pawn shop with a shotgun, and Jimmy was killed, and so was his ex-wife, and nothing was stolen from this pawn shop. No money came up missing, no jewelry, no cameras. You know how many things are in a pawn shop that could be worth money, and a lot of people say there's no money stolen because the cash register was locked. But from the stories I've heard, there was money in Jimmy's pocket that was never taken. So I don't know. This was deemed a attempted robbery and murder, but it was a robbery where nothing was stolen. So I'm not sure if this rumor that got started in 1998 is what got Jimmy killed, or if it really was a failed robbery attempt. But considering what all was going on in the 90s, and especially this time period in the 90s, there is that possibility that that rumor could have gotten Jimmy murdered. So I'm gonna put a picture at the end of the video of Orion, Jimmy Ellis, for you to see, for those of you that don't know him. And we're going to move on to another video. Now, just to fill you in on something here, there was a lady that ran onto, back when he was still just Orion, nobody knew he was Jimmy yet. There was a lady that ran onto Orion's tour bus and says that she saw two Orions sitting in the back of the bus, and one of them got up and ran into the bathroom, and she got a glimpse of him and said that it did look like Elvis Presley. So I'll let you form your opinion on this one, and I'm going to prepare for another video. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.